Hey you, welcome to this presentation on how to heal social anxiety for good. You're going to learn the neuroscience-backed ATR method that healed my social anxiety and gave me real social confidence. And here it is. This is it. It's a 3-step process. The first step is to become aware, accept. The second is to trigger, and the third is to release. Now wait, before I fully explain the 3 steps and the neuroscience behind it, I want to answer, why should you listen to me? Well, besides the fact that I am a certified professional mental health coach who has been practicing since 2019, I believe that results speak louder than credentials. So I want to show you a quick video of the results people got with this method.
Before starting this work with Oliver, my mental health, I would definitely put in like a 2.5 to 3 range. And then now I'd say I'm at like a 9 out of 10. I don't know if you can tell, but I feel amazing.
What I've done in this short time in this program has done more than the past 30 years combined. I kid you not.
At first, I was so skeptical. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna give it a try. I know it won't work. And I was like, you know what, take a tiny bit of risk and see where it goes. I was able to tame my anxiety. I can actually smile. Like now, Jamal is gonna have a happy mother. What?
Now I'm more myself, more authentic, and I'm talking to this girl who actually she loves me for who I am, and that's pretty great. So
I can talk to people with confidence now. I have my voice back. I just want people to know that it is possible to work through things and get over anxiety.
For me, it was basically just having a dark cloud all around me and being stuck in that freeze state. I'm like this. And Oliver knows. You lifted me up from places where I thought I could not be lifted up from. Speaking about social anxiety, right? I don't know what happened between 4 or 5 months since I started, but I don't feel anxiety. I feel comfortable with myself.
I was in a very dark place. I couldn't speak. I literally thought everyone was judging me. My anxiety was through the roof. I would get scared when my friends came up to me. Now my social anxiety is literally gone. And I went from being literally scared of getting a job to now working, thriving, hitting the gym every day, being happy, seeing my friends. I wasn't passing school when I first joined. I'm passing school now, and I feel 10 times better in my own skin. I've never felt more comfortable in my own skin. I'm literally living proof that it will pay off.
And at any time, you can book a free consult with a social anxiety expert by clicking the button below. Now back to the training. Question for you. Have you ever met a socially anxious baby before? Neither have I. So you weren't born with it. And neither was I. A little bit about my story. Well, my childhood was fine until one day when I was 10 years old, I saw my older brother of 13, his name was Ian, electrocuted to death right in front of me. I began to downward spiral to a very dark place. And so what I did is I isolated myself because I didn't want to burden others. Isolation ruined my social skills, and my bottled up negativity, it affected others when I tried to hold it in. And because of that, my peers, parents, and teachers rejected me as a result of my negativity, and I heard a lot of negative things. And with no emotional support, I suppressed these traumatic moments. And ultimately, I felt rejected and ashamed and like a worthless, outcast loser. Life was horrible. I had constant suicidal thought loops. I swore I was doomed to die alone with nobody. I had regular panic attacks in any social context. I hated myself and everybody else, and I lived my life at a 2 out of 10. And then one day, out of this pain, I snapped. I decided I would either fix my social anxiety or end my life. So I scoured the internet trying to figure out how to fix myself, and I ended up spending over $40,000 and years of time trying everything. And I did. I tried multiple therapists, anxiety meds, exposure therapy, meditation, confidence tricks, diet and exercise, and so much more. But guess what? My social anxiety always returned. That is until I discovered the ATR method, which I'm going to break down into detail in this presentation. And that took me from a 2 all the way to an 8 out of 10 in my mental health. And From there, my social anxiety literally vanished. I was able to talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime without fear. Total strangers, crowds of people, I could just engage and have great reactions, and it was effortless. I could even perform in front of crowds. You see in the bottom left, that's me doing a singing performance. I got an awesome girlfriend, and I began traveling the world, making new social circles. It was amazing. So how does this work? Well, it works by healing the root cause of your social anxiety. Most methods are focused on the symptoms, and that's why they don't ever fully work. They might help a little bit. So what are the symptoms of social anxiety? Well, a few of those are those negative thought loops, judging yourself, feeling others are judging you, your mind shutting down, going blank in social situations, your body tensing up, feeling tightness, feeling inferior, less than other people, and depression is common as well. And that's all happening in the present moment. But this comes from somewhere, just like the baby, right? Come from somewhere. What's the root cause? Well, oftentimes it's suppressed emotions. It's bullying and rejection that happened. And this is stuff in the past. Parental abuse, neglect, isolation, and social shame. These are some of the root causes. And the umbrella term for all that is what we call trauma. Now let me define that for you, because some people might get triggered at that term. You might think you don't have it, and that's okay. But if you ask Google, it's simply a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. It's not only reserved for veterans and assault victims. It can be something small, like you got lost in a grocery store as a child, and for whatever reason, you suppressed it. Because trauma forms when we suppress our fight or flight response, okay? So it's not just what happens, it's what happens after. Also, if you can't remember of any traumas that might have happened, but you're dealing with social anxiety, it's because the memories also get suppressed. There's also some hard science backed up by the National Institute of Health showing an association between exposure to traumatic events and anxiety disorders. So let's break down those 3 steps so you can understand what this is all about. Okay, so here is the overview again: aware, accept, trigger, and then release. So the first step is you need to become aware of the traumas that are within you. Very simply, right now as you're sitting, do you feel any numbness, any tightness, or any just inner discomfort? Block out all distractions and just sit with yourself in your own skin. Is it uncomfortable? Do you feel negative emotions? And are there negative thoughts happening? Because that is all signs of trauma. Then, once we're aware of what's going on, we must accept it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to love it. But you need to face the facts that this is what's inside of your body right now, whether you like it or not. Next, we must trigger it. You must get those feelings triggered because you must feel in order to heal. The only way out is through. We must process this. And that's the last step, is to release, letting go of all resistance to those emotions, letting them be processed. And that's when you heal the root cause, because it's no longer inside of you. You let it go. And once you get rid of the root cause, social anxiety stops coming back. What happens in place of that is your body returns to homeostasis, feeling good again. And guess what? Animals do this too. And I'm going to show you video evidence of that very soon on this presentation. But first, let me show you the neuroscience. I don't want to complicate it for you, so I've made this chart a lot simpler. And there's basically 2 parts of your mind, okay? There is your conscious thinking mind, and then you have your subconscious feeling body. This is your intuitive side, your emotional body. Most therapies are dealing with trying to change your thoughts and your belief systems. Now, that's not a waste of time. That is important. But again, if you never address the root cause, which the subconscious, that's where it is. It's the root. You're going to keep having to cut off the weeds again and again. They're going to keep growing back. And most things are not enough for the same reason. For example, therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, that's the most common form. In the word cognitive, that means thinking mind. So once again, if you're only addressing the thinking mind, it's not going to get you there. Like, how many times have you tried to rationalize with your anxiety to try to get you to a better spot? Like, oh, I shouldn't be anxious because it's really not that big a deal. I'm sure people aren't judging me. And how well has that worked for you? Right? You're here for a reason. It doesn't work. So we need to go deeper. Next, anxiety meds. Again, that's only going to numb the emotions you're feeling, which can help you get through a really tough time, but isn't going to be the fix. Next, exposure therapy. This is when you put yourself out there and try to just get practice and desensitize yourself. Well, again, if your goal is to desensitize yourself towards uncomfortable interactions, Desensitizing means you're, once again, numbing yourself from the feeling. And we don't want that. We want to feel good. We don't want to feel triggered. So this can work if you pair it with the ATR method, but it won't work alone. Next, meditation is something that I recommend to everybody and is very helpful with the first step of the ATR. But again, it's not going to get you to that release. Confidence tricks. If you have to trick yourself into confidence, are you really confident? The answer is no. But when you heal with the ATR method, genuine confidence comes through, and you don't have to put on a mask. You don't have to be somebody you're not. You naturally feel comfortable within your own skin, and it radiates outwards. People feel it. Next, diet and exercise. Again, I recommend improving that for everybody. That's going to help, but it's not going to solve any traumas that are lingering. Here's the videos of the animals that release trauma. I'm going to show these on the screen now. Okay, the first video is of the polar bear being chased down by a helicopter. It's very traumatic. This polar bear thinks it's going to die, and then these humans, they tranquilize it because they're doing a demonstration. And as it's tranquilized, it begins to wake up from the tranquilizer. And as it does, you'll see now it is releasing trauma, that shaking, that somatic experience. That is the release of all of that fight or flight energy that was built up in the body from almost feeling like it was going to die. And then eventually it lets it all out, takes a few deep breaths in, as you're going to see very soon, just like that. And he's released it, and his body is returning back to homeostasis, feeling good again. And then once he does that, he can finally relax and not be so full of negativity and anxious energy. Now we have the video of the impala who is almost at death by that leopard, but the leopard gets chased off by some baboons, and the impala survives. Now it's in a state of freeze. It's suppressed that trauma, and then eventually with the breath, it's going to reawaken all of that fight or flight energy to be released, the ATR. It's accepting all of that energy. It's going to get triggered, and you're going to see it begin to release all of that triggered traumatic fight or flight energy. And there it goes. It's releasing that energy, and it will do that for a while, and then eventually it will shake it all out, and then it will be back to homeostasis, back to being an impala, and will get up and go about its life feeling free. Understand, us humans, we're a little bit different. The reason is because we fear being judged as not good enough by others, being seen as a burden on the tribe. If other tribe members are like, that Oliver guy, he's burden on the tribe, he's taking up too much food and we don't like him, let's get him out of here, let's kick him out. What would happen to me? I'm screwed. I'm going to die. So that is why this feels so intense. Remember times when you've had like a social anxiety panic attack? Doesn't it kind of feel like you're gonna die? Like it's so intense and it's just so crippling? Because your body and your biology thinks you are going to get rejected and die. That part of us has not caught up to the modern world to know that we're actually safe, okay? And so what your mind does to protect you from that is it judges and shuts down your feelings. It blocks you off from your feelings in order to keep you safe. This is why I recommend not going at this process alone. It is so incredibly difficult to get past the prison guard by yourself. It is very tricky, and it will manipulate you into staying stuck. And another danger is if you don't know what you're doing, you could re-traumatize yourself, and that would be very, very unhelpful. That could cause you more harm. That is why I always recommend booking a mentor who is an expert in guiding through trauma release and through this method. So let's recap what we learned. Number one, the root cause of social anxiety is suppressed trauma. Number two, trauma is stored in the feeling body, not the thinking mind. Number three, most methods ignore the feeling body. That's why they don't work. Number four, the ATR method heals suppressed trauma for good. Number five, the 3 steps of it are aware, accept, 2, trigger, and 3, release. And 6, the mind blocks releasing, fearing social outcast. And 7, I always recommend booking a mentor who can help you get past the mental blocks and heal in the most painless and easy way possible. Is this starting to make sense? Are you feeling perhaps a little bit overwhelmed? Well, I don't blame you, and I want to make this easy for you. And the way I'll do that is I'm going to offer once again to book a free consultation to continue your journey. So what is this about? Well, it's going to be a free one-on-one call with me. and I'm going to help you get clarity on your blocks and your trauma. I'm going to help you design a custom strategy so you can heal your social anxiety in the fastest time possible. And there will also be risk-free opportunities to join my Anti-Anxiety Academy. It's a program that all the people in that video in the beginning, they all went through, and that's why they're crushing it and succeeding and overcoming social anxiety. If you're ready to go, click that now, go book that call, right? I'll be looking forward to speaking with you. But there's probably some of you who are still unsure about doing so. So I want to answer some frequently asked questions to help you out. Number one, you're probably thinking, well, finances are tight right now. How much is it to join? If you want to join the academy, we have affordable plans for all budget ranges. And also, investing in yourself is the best investment you can make, because most of my clients upgrade their income once they overcome social anxiety. They're able to confidently interview and get a promotion because they're able to demonstrate their value and not be in a fear state. But also ask yourself, how much is your social anxiety currently costing you? Not just financially, but like in your enjoyment of life. And what is freedom worth to you? And what's money worth? This is the way I looked at it, was what's money worth if you can't even enjoy it? That's why I was willing to spend over $40,000. Question, what if it doesn't work? The truth is, it works if you do the work. The process is literally built into your biology. That's why those animals also do it. We also offer 100% money back guarantees for those who need them, who do the work and still are not happy with the results. So I am so confident that it will work. I'm willing and happy to take on all of the risk for you. Once again, if this stuff didn't work, my business would fail. I wouldn't be here right now. So next question, I'm busy. How much time will this take? It would take as little as 1 hour a week, which is like no time. The more time you put in, the faster you get results. So I design plans so you can go at your own pace. Question, I think I've already released my trauma. What then? Well, if you are still dealing with social anxiety and you haven't gone deep with enough of the work, that is why it's still there. And the problem is sometimes the mind will convince us, oh, I've already done the releasing, I don't need to do any more of that, as a way to protect us from being vulnerable. And once again, it's to protect us from getting kicked out of the tribe, okay? Next is I'm afraid of releasing my trauma. What if I get stuck in it? The truth is, releasing is the act of letting go, which is the opposite of being stuck. What's going to cause you more problems? Ask yourself, rejecting and resisting your trauma or doing the work to heal it? Last question, what if I can't release? Well, you were able to suppress it, weren't you? So it sounds like you're the one who's in control of your emotions. And look, I've worked with dozens of people from every continent, and I have yet to find somebody who can't release. It is literally built into your biology. So once again, book your free consultation now below this call. Do it now, and I look forward to seeing you soon.